Part 13. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the God-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 121. As soon as these words came out, the whole inn fell into silence. No one dared to speak. After all, the person standing in front of them was the real Lu Jin. That powerful being recognized by the world as the Lord of the Hidden Dragon. At this time, Liu Bei looked at Zhuge-Liang. At this time, he could only place his hope on Zhuge-Liang. Facing Liu Bei's questioning gaze, Zhuge-Liang shook his head. Upon seeing this, Liu Bei immediately understood and stepped forward to grab Zhang Fei's shoulders. "Third brother, this is your fault. We were invited to come over, and the conditions of the guest rooms we stayed in were definitely not too bad. The guest room is just a place for us to rest, so there is no need to pay too much attention to it. This incident was caused by my third brother being too reckless, so I, Lu Suand, would like to apologize to everyone." After Liu Bei's words, he directly attributed all the faults to Zhang Fei. Zhang Fei also understood what Liu Bei meant and quickly clasped his fists. "I, Zhang Fei, am a rough man. I was too impulsive today. Please don't blame me, Master Lu Jin." When the people around heard this, they couldn't help but have a playful smile on their faces. That's it? Originally, they thought Liu Bei, the newly promoted Jing Zhou, had some abilities. The result is a blame shifter. As if aware of the gazes of the people around him, Liu Bei's expression became very strange. But because Lu Jin was here, Liu Bei and others could only return to the guest room in despair. Returning to the guest room, Liu Bei clenched his fists and could no longer suppress the anger in his heart. This Lu Jin is too arrogant. I, Liu Bei, have recorded today's humiliation. At this time, Zhuge-Liang beside him also quickly comforted him. "My lord, please don't be angry. Our main goal in coming to celebrate this grand ceremony is still His Majesty the young Emperor of Han. If we can get the support of the young Emperor of the Han dynasty, the road to hegemony in the future will definitely be based on justice. The patience and humiliation you have now are all for the future." After hearing these words, the anger on Liu Bei's face dissipated a bit. That's right. The main purpose of his visit this time is Liu Bian, the young emperor of the Han dynasty. As long as I can see Liu Bian, everything I am going through now will be meaningful. Thinking of this, Liu Bei gradually calmed down. At this time, other princes also came to Qianlong town. After all the princes arrived, Lu Jin took out the celebration order. Ding! Are celebration orders used? Use. Isn't this the reason why I put so much effort into organizing this celebration ceremony? Ding! Qianlong town has officially launched the small-scale event military competition, and the event copy is hereby launched. Military competition? Lu Jin opened the event details page to view the details of the military competition. The military competition is divided into two parts, one is the team competition, and the other is the generals competition. The team competition is for each party to select 100 sergeants to kill the rebels in the event copy, and get different levels of rewards based on the number of rebels killed. The general competition is when all parties select military generals and compete in the event arena. The winner will receive varying degrees of rewards. After reading the activity introduction, Lu Jin touched his chin and raised the corners of his mouth slightly. This military competition is simply tailor-made for myself. In terms of the strength of the army and generals, Lu Jin didn't think anyone here could compare with him. It just so happened that during the time when I was in the northern expedition to the barbarians, all the princes were working hard to develop. It's time to suppress these princes and let them know who is the real master of the gods. When he founds his country and proclaims himself emperor, the psychological shadow left by this event on the princes will save him a lot of effort. Thinking of this, Lu Jin called Shen Wanzan. "Lord, what do you want from me?" "Go and call Liu Bian. I want to announce the addition of an event as part of this celebration." Call Lu Bian? Shen Wanzhen was a little curious, wasn't he the host of this event? What does it mean to ask Lu Bian to call? But although he had some doubts in his heart, Shen Wanzhen didn't say anything and suppressed his curiosity. Not long after, Lu Bian was brought to Lu Jin. At this time, Lu Bian's face was rosy, with a smile on his face. For Lu Bian now, there is no better time than now. Now that I live under the protection of Lu Jin, I feel no pressure. Because he still has the false reputation of the divine Han Emperor, he still has a certain value to Lu Jin. Lu Jin would never treat valuable people badly. Therefore, Lu Bian can be said to be relying on his false reputation. He only needs to manage the Sili well and he can sit back and relax. There is even a black guard secretly protecting him, so he doesn't even have to worry about someone framing him. I've met my lord. Lu Bian shouted lord openly and without any complaints or pressure. Lu Jin did not notice Lu Bian's state, and told Lu Bian the details of the military competition. Then, Lu Jin looked at Lu Bian and said calmly, "After this grand celebration, I plan to found a country and proclaim myself emperor and establish a brand new dynasty. The military competition is a means I use to beat the princes from all walks of life and make them realize the gap between us. When I plan to unify the divine men, the military competition will become a shadow in their hearts. So, I need you to help me promote the military competition. The better the publicity, the higher their expectations will be, and the more desperate they will be when the time comes." Hearing these words, Shen Wanzhen's eyes widened. What is my lord saying? In front of the Shenhan Emperor Lu Bian, he said that he planned to found a country and proclaim himself emperor to establish a new national power? And asked Lu Bian to help him promote the military competition and attack various princes? This is too magical. After Lu Bian heard these words, his eyes lit up. Lord, what a good plan. My subordinates will make arrangements now. This military competition will definitely become the focus of all the princes. Lu Jin nodded, and Lu Bian immediately stepped back. And Shen Wanzhen next to him widened his eyes. Lu Bian just agreed? He seems very happy. The great man is about to change his dynasty, but he can still laugh. At the same time, Shen Wanzhen couldn't help but look at Lu Jin. Being able to make the last emperor of the Han dynasty willingly serve him, Lu Jin's methods were what made Shen Wanzhen feel the most terrifying. At this time, Lu Jin looked at Shen Wanzhen and his eyes fell on Shen Wanzhen. Even Shen Wanzhen, who was in the saint realm, couldn't help but feel his heart skip a beat. I'm very optimistic about you. If this military competition is run well, it can bring Qianlongtown's reputation among the gods to a higher level. So, I leave the publicity about Qianlongtown to you. I believe in your ability. Upon hearing these words, Shen Wanzhen immediately knelt down in front of Lu Jin. My subordinates will do their best. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 122. The celebration ceremony officially began with the beating of gongs and drums. People are coming and going on the streets, and there are an endless stream of vendors of all kinds. Even the generals and counselors were given a vacation by Lu Jin today. The soldiers on duty even took turns to take breaks to ensure that everyone could participate in this cheerful celebration. However, in the eyes of ordinary people and soldiers, it was a joyful and lively celebration ceremony. In the eyes of those princes, it had already turned into a hangmen banquet with surging undercurrents. Cao was walking on the streets of Qianlongtown. It was lunchtime. Cao suddenly remembered that one of the special features of Qianlongtown was the elixir wine and monster meat in the restaurant. Everyone has finally come to Qianlongtown today, why don't we try their most distinctive elixir wine and monster meat? Upon hearing these words, many generals' eyes lit up. It is rumored that the elixir wine in Qianlongtown is the best wine among the gods. Monster meat is even made into 18 different shapes. They had longed for it for a long time, but due to the need to protect their lord, they did not act at will even when they entered Qianlong town. Now that they have this opportunity, why wouldn't they be tempted? And Cao and others went directly to Qianlong No. 1 restaurant. It is rumored that this restaurant was co-founded by Master Lu Zilu and Master Cai Yanke. Sun Yu also did his homework on Qianlong No. 1 restaurant. Naturally, we know who the person behind Qianlong No. 1 restaurant is. Cao narrowed his eyes slightly, and his memory went back to the beginning of the Yellow Turban Rebellion. Unexpectedly, time has changed and Lu Ji now actually opens a restaurant and works as a teacher in Qianlong town. But this also confirms the strong foundation of Qianlong town. As soon as he stepped into the restaurant, there was a chaotic sound inside the restaurant. "Dear guests, I am the waiter in the first store. If you want to order food and drink, please feel free to dispatch me at any time. But if you want to recruit me, please get out of the way and don't stop us from doing business." The person who said this was none other than Guoqia. At this moment, Guoqia looked at the people in front of him. They were all famous heroes. Among them are many friends I made in the early years. Now, they all perform their duties and serve under the princes of the world. As heroes from all walks of life serve the princes of the world, Guoqia's name gradually spreads among the princes of the world. There is a man from the Guo family in Yingchuan, Yuzhou. This man is very talented. If he can recruit his subordinates, he will definitely be able to help the Lord rule the world. I once had a good friend. He was extremely talented and an incredible counselor. If he had the help of this person, he would definitely have a place as a master in the world. I have little talent in my studies and am not as good as Guoqia. If the Lord can recruit this person. Heroes from all walks of life, plus discussions among alien lords. Before Guoqia showed his talent, he was already remembered by princes from all walks of life. Even Cao often heard Sun Yu sigh. If Guoqia were here, such words would never be allowed in this matter. Cao never expected that Guoqia would be working as a waiter in Qianlong town after missing for so long. At this moment, a demon cavalry appeared next to him and walked directly into the restaurant. Seeing the demon cavalry coming to maintain order, everyone quickly dispersed. Guoqia was relieved. Unexpectedly, the next second, he saw Cao and others coming. Sun Yu took a step forward and looked at Guoqia in front of him with a look of disbelief. "Feng Xiao, why are you working as a waiter here?" Guoqia was a little happy to see Sun Yu. After all, among the many heroes, he and Sun Yu were relatively easy to talk to. But after hearing Sun Yu's words, Guoqia sighed helplessly and directly told him what happened when he was caught eating the overlord meal. As soon as these words came out, Cao immediately felt that his opportunity had come. "I've heard about Guoqia and Guo Fengxiao for a long time. When I saw him today, I was really shocked. If you don't mind me, Mengda is willing to redeem your life for me." As soon as these words came out, Sun Yu couldn't help but give Cao a thumbs up. If Cao can take Guoqia under his command, it will definitely be of great help to his future career. "Who knows?" Guoqia waved his hand and said. "Wenruo, you must have misunderstood. I have already paid off the money for the overlord dinner by working part-time. The reason why I stay here now is because I can learn more things in Qianlong town." Guoqia originally planned to leave Qianlong town immediately after paying off the money. But as he spent more and more time in Qianlong town, he couldn't leave Qianlong town. As the saying goes, it is difficult to go from luxury to frugality. In Qianlong town, not only can I occasionally go to Jixia Academy to study. Sometimes he even meets Lu Jin's counselors, and these counselors will give him some pointers. After leaving Qianlong town, is there still room for improvement? Moreover, Guojia felt that he could vaguely touch the threshold of the super first level realm. If you leave Qianlong now, wouldn't you be a fool? After being rejected, Cao's expression changed. Unexpectedly, a talent like Guojia would rather work as a waiter in Qianlong than join his subordinates and make suggestions for himself. At this time, a figure came to the counter. Feng Xiao, the same old style. After seeing this person, Sun Yu's expression changed. Jiasu. This person is also a talent. Jiasu placed a few gold coins in front of the counter, glanced at Cao next to him, and after seeing the identities of Cao and others, Jiasu did not say anything. Guojia put away Jiasu's gold coins and said with a smile. How are you doing at Jixia Academy lately? I've gained a lot, and I feel like I'm going to have a breakthrough recently. Tisk, 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 I really envy you. I think you will be able to break through to the first level in the near future and become the counselor of Qianlong Town. Ha ha ha, if you are interested in Feng Xiao, why not go to the Lord and apply? With your talents, it will not be a problem to enter Jixia Academy. Guojia smiled and then took Jiasu to sit down. At this time, Sun Yu immediately reminded Cao. My lord, this person's name is Jiasu, and Jia when he is also a man of great ability. My lord, seizing the opportunity and bringing this person under his command will be a great help. It's really another village where everything is bright and clear. Cao's eyes lit up. Even if he couldn't get Guojia, getting this person would still be a big gain. Just when Cao was about to recruit Jiasu personally, a figure sat directly next to Jiasu. Taking a closer look, this person is Liu Bei. I saw Liu Bei pretending to be extremely familiar and pouring a glass of wine. I am Liu Bei, named Suand. I am the current shepherd of Jingzhou and the queen of Zhongshan Prince Zheng. I am currently working hard to help the Han dynasty. When I saw Mr. today, I was astonished. I wonder if sir, can you join me and work together to help the Han dynasty? Kuangfu Han Room. Hearing these 4 words, Jiasu felt funny for a while. At the same time, he looked at Liu Bei, and the indifference in his eyes made Liu Bei feel chilled. Do I know you well? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 123. As soon as these words came out, Liu Bei immediately stayed where he was. Jiasu waved his hand, and Guojia next to him immediately understood what he meant. Later, Guojia came to Liu Bei and said very politely, my guest, this table is a private table. Sharing is not allowed. For a moment, Liu Bei's face turned red. But he didn't get angry. After all, this was the territory of Qianlong Town, and there were demon cavalry patrolling nearby. If he makes trouble here, he will probably be kicked out of Qianlong Town before he can see Liu Bian. Thinking of this, Liu Bei forced out a smile. I'm causing you trouble. After that, Liu Bei turned and left. Seeing Liu Bei's end, Cao couldn't help but feel nervous. Fortunately, he didn't step forward rashly just now, otherwise he might end up no better than Liu Bei. Guojia is not good, Jiasu is not humane either. After hitting a wall, Cao had no choice but to spend some money in the restaurant and leave directly. On the other side, Sun Jian and his son also came to Qianlong Town. Seeing the lively atmosphere inside and outside Qianlong Town, Sun Jian couldn't help but sigh. It is worthy of being called Qianlong Town, a paradise on earth. If all the cities under our command have such a large population, why worry about succeeding in our great cause? Because of Lu Jin's intervention, Sun Jian, who was supposed to die young, is now alive and well. Not only that, his two sons are even more talented. Especially son Ce, who is now at the level of a second-grade warrior. With his talent, it is only a matter of time before he becomes a first-class general. Next to Sun Quan, followed an elegant man. This person is Sun Ce's good friend, Zhou Yu. Sun Jian also saw that this Zhou Yu was not a creature in the pond, so he deliberately cultivated Zhou Yu. And Zhou Yu did not disappoint Sun and his son. Now he has shown his talent and is quite famous in Jiangdong. I have to say that Jianlong town is full of warriors, and even when children are young, there are many talented people. If we can get a little bit of the essence of Jianlong town and fight for world domination in the future, why worry about it? Along the way, they all saw the strength of the residents of Jianlong town. Especially the rumored Jixia Academy. When they approached Jixia Academy, they could feel the huge literary aura emanating from it. Literary energy is something that cannot be seen or touched, it is as elusive as luck. But literary style can represent a person's talent and learning. If this person is just a person seeking fame and reputation, then there will be no culture in him. On the contrary, if this person is really talented, even if he falls into the market, he will still be able to detect his unique temperament. At this moment, Sun Quan suddenly saw a notice posted on the notice board next to him. Many Jianlong town residents gathered in front of the notice board and talked about it. Military competition? I didn't expect there to be such an event. But this kind of activity has nothing to do with us. It should be an activity specially set up for those princes. Look at the rewards. The 10th place in the team competition of the military competition can receive a reward of 100,000 units of random resources, and the 10th place in the individual competition can receive a reward of 10,000 gold coins. Good guy, 100,000 units of resources and 10,000 gold coins. This is only the reward for the 10th place in the military competition. Wouldn't the reward for the first place be more generous? Military competition? Activities prepared for the princes? Sun Quan and others, who were still wandering around, immediately came to the notice board. When they saw the details of the military competition, they couldn't help but gasp. What is Lu Jin planning to do? 100,000 units of resources and 10,000 gold coins. Such a reward even makes me a little excited. Just in time, didn't we bring our elite troops from Jiangdong this time? Father, I heard that the host of this military competition is His Majesty the young Emperor of Han. Isn't this an opportunity for us to show Jiangdong's strength? Both Sun Ce and Sun Quan saw the importance of this military competition. But Sun Jian and Zhou Yu did not answer directly. Zhou Yu knew very well that it would be difficult to get first place in this military competition. Because it is not clearly stated above, Lu Jin will not participate. Once Jianlong town participates, for other princes, the military competition will become a battle royale in an instant. However, Lu Jin happened to bring out the high-priced prize and Lu Bian, the young emperor of the Han dynasty. This can't help but arouse the competitive spirit of the princes from all walks of life. If he wins, it will be a situation where he will gain both fame and fortune. The reason why Sun Jian hesitated was because he knew how terrifying Lu Jin's troops were. However, the prize is too generous. Even if you don't compete for first place, it would be great to compete for second place. After some thinking, Sun Jian said immediately. Calling the Suwei Tiger cavalry waiting outside Sheneng Valley, we are bound to win this military competition. At this moment, in the center of Jianlong town square, Shen Wanzan stood high on a high platform. Dear heroes, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come to Jianlong town and participate in the celebration of the Northern Expedition. I know that all the good guys who come here are heroes and have great abilities. So, in order to give everyone a chance to show off their talents, our Lord Lu Jinlu, has specially prepared a military competition. I believe you have seen the details of the military competition, so next, everyone who intends to participate in the military competition. Please follow me to Wushan Mountain. Wushan Mountain? Even the residents in Qianlong town heard of the name of Wushan Mountain for the first time. Not to mention the many princes. Martial God Mountain? What is that place? Does our Qianlong town have such a place? It should be a special area like Bayou Terrace. After all, some areas in Qianlong town are sealed off. I see. It's a pity that only the princes who have signed up can enter the Martial God Mountain. What's the point of us going over there? In the end, we, Mr. Liu, will win the game anyway. After many discussions, many residents quickly lost interest in the military competition. After all, compared to fighting and killing, they still think the food at the celebration is more interesting. But Yuan Shao was in the crowd and was always surprised when he heard the comments of the people around him. Qianlong town actually has a particularly blocked area? Yuan Shao narrowed his eyes slightly. According to rumors, Qianlong town's resources are inexhaustible. Is it possible that the achievement is related to these blocked areas? But Yuan Shao didn't think much about it. He asked his men to summon the troops outside Sheneng Valley. How could he let it go when he finally had the opportunity to collect Lu Jin's wool? It's a pity that UNCI is not by my side, otherwise he would definitely be able to give me some advice. As a descendant of the Yuan family who suddenly rose to prominence, Yuan Shao could be said to attach great importance to UNCI. It's a pity that UNCI suddenly had a high fever some time ago. During this grand celebration, he could only rest at home. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the God-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 124. At the entrance at the foot of Wushan Mountain, Lu Jin and Lu Bian had already stepped into this special event copy. Looking at the towering Wushan Mountain, Lu Bian beside him couldn't help but sigh. I didn't expect that there is such a scene in Sheneng Valley. Lu Jin didn't answer because he knew very well. This is just a place provided by the system for him to hold events. After the event is over, whether he can enter Wushan Mountain in the future is a matter of probability. And Lu Jin stepped down, and the true energy of the semi-immortal realm condensed under his feet. The next second, Lu Jin soared into the air and appeared directly above 10,000 meters in the air. Looking down at the entire Wushan Mountain from a high altitude, Lu Jin could see that the entire Wushan Mountain was like a huge chessboard. With Wushan Mountain as the center, the area at the foot of the mountain is divided into 4 huge areas: deserts, jungles, rivers, and hills. Among the 4 areas, Lu Jin saw several troops with flags moving among them. When Lu Jin focused his eyes on one of the troops, he couldn't help but raise the corners of his mouth slightly. Is this the power of the system? Name: Yellow Turban Ding. Positioning: Infantry. Realm: 4th level warrior. Affiliation: 4th rank Yellow Turban Legion. Yellow Turban Army. He is also a Yellow Turban Army member with the realm of a 4th grade warrior. Lu Jin could feel that these Yellow Turban Army did not really exist, but were just refined existences similar to puppets. Its method is similar to the immortal puppet method that I obtained. Looking elsewhere, Lu Jin saw several other different troops. Name: Manhujia. Positioning: Infantry. Realm: 8th level warrior. Affiliation: 8th grade Manhu Infantry Regiment. Name: Manhu Xiangbing Bi. Positioning: Cavalry. Realm: 5th level warrior. Affiliation: 5th rank Barbarian Huxiang Cavalry Regiment. Some corps that have been seen and some that have not been seen now appear in the area near Wushan Mountain. Lu Jin took a glance and found that the scale and strength of these corps were not strong. Of course, this is for myself. And just after Lu Jin surveyed the entire side of Wushan Mountain, various princes also entered Wushan Mountain one after another. They were all transported to the entrance of Martial God Mountain, which was also the place where princes from all walks of life watched the military competition. In the viewing area, there are projection crystals set up systematically, so you can observe the scenes everywhere in Wushan Mountain at all times. Amazing. This thing can actually show scenes thousands of miles away. I seem to have seen this thing in ancient historical records. It should be called a projection crystal. An ancient product? Why can't I see any trace of this thing now? I don't know about this. I heard that there is a projection crystal passed down from the palace treasury. I don't know whether it is true or not. Listening to the discussions of the people around him, Lu Jin was keenly aware of the key information. Projection crystals also exist in ancient historical records. You know, even you can't reproduce this kind of thing. Because projection crystal, from another aspect, is also the embodiment of system power. But these princes said that they had seen historical records of projection crystals. Recalling the message left by Emperor Manhu, Lu Jin narrowed his eyes slightly and looked at Lu Bian, the young emperor of the Han dynasty not far away. At this moment, Lu Bian's figure came to the center of the viewing platform. Everyone, thank you for being invited to participate in this military competition. As we all know, we have a lot of talented people and a powerful military. Now that you have countless powerful soldiers and generals, this military competition is an opportunity to show yourself. No matter what the result of the competition is, I hope that everyone will not be timid and lose my great style as a great man. Seeing Lu Bian appear, Liu Bei in the audience was extremely excited. Finally saw Lu Bian. In the following military competition, I must show my strength in front of Lu Bian. Next, let's start the first part of the military competition. Team Martial Arts Competition. Under the Wushan Mountain, it is divided into 4 areas, and different corps are active in the 4 areas. The strength and size of these corps varied widely. Depending on the strength and size, the number of flag points possessed by the corps is also different. And they must defeat these corps and capture the flags of these corps to gain points. After 3 days, the corps with the most points will be the well-deserved first corps. The princes from all walks of life can only send 100 soldiers to participate in this team military competition. So choice becomes extremely important. Can we only send 100 people? Sun Jian touched his chin and began to think carefully. Liu Bei sneered and waved his hand. I have an elite regiment under my command, called the White Guards. The average person in the corps is at the level of a 4th-grade warrior, and hundreds of white soldiers will work together to kill a 3rd-grade warrior. The troops in the field are nothing more than local chickens and dogs. Compared with my Jingzhou elite, they are like fireflies and bright moon. Your Majesty, please take a look. My men, Liu Bei, the shepherd of Jingzhou, are all strong soldiers and generals. Without any hesitation, Liu Bei directly sent 100 white soldiers into the battlefield of Wushan Mountain. And next, Yuan Shao sent out 100 Euphorbia warriors. As for Cao, he directly sent 100 tiger and leopard cavalry. Watching one after another powerful corps entering the battlefield of Wushan Mountain, Liu Bian remained calm on the surface, but his heart was cold. He didn't expect that these princes would have so many powerful soldiers and generals. Liu Bei's white soldiers, Yuan Shao's Euphorbia soldiers, Cao's tiger and leopard cavalry, Sun Jian's Su Wei tiger cavalry. Taken individually, these corps are almost as powerful as the Royal Forest Army in Luoyang. But immediately, Liu Bian breathed a sigh of relief. Now that he is no longer the emperor of the divine Han dynasty, what should he worry about? So what if these people are strong? Liu Bian looked at Lu Jin next to him, and he couldn't help but ask Lu Jindao. I wonder, Mr. Liu, which regiment you plan to send to participate in this military competition? Which corps? The corners of Lu Jin's mouth raised slightly, and soon 100 soldiers were screened out by him. When they saw these 100 soldiers, everyone couldn't help but twitch their mouths. What's the situation? Among the 100 soldiers, there were demon cavalry, yellow scarf warriors, wild hunters, and even red-flamed gosh ox mixed in among them. This is completely a miscellaneous army. Master Lu, don't you know that if soldiers in the same regiment work together, they can unite their forces and defeat opponents stronger than themselves? I know. No. You don't even know that you have formed a miscellaneous army. Can the motley army gather strength? Without a general to lead them, it would be difficult for them to coordinate operations. Can they still be expected to gather their military strength to defeat the enemy? Are you kidding me? Many princes felt as if they had been humiliated by Lu Jin. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 125. They all brought out their most elite troops. Just to prevent there being no room for fighting back when encountering the Lu Jin troops. But they never expected that Lu Jin would not take them seriously at all. Without the leadership of a military commander, he actually gave up his military advantage. Together, he plans to defeat his elite regiment with just a motley army that cannot unite its military power? Shame. This is simply a naked humiliation. For a time, all the princes clenched their fists. But even so, they did not dare to complain at all. After all, this is Lu Jin's territory. If Lu Jin is angered, whether they can get out is a question. Lu Bian smiled bitterly, which was quite like Lu Jin's style. But then, something even more shocking happened to everyone. I saw that after Lu Jin's motley army entered Wushan Mountain, internal strife broke out. The 30 demon cavalry members belonging to the 10,000 demon army glanced at the others. We demon cavalry are suitable for charging and hunting enemies in open terrain. So we plan to go to the desert area, where there is less cover and is suitable for our demon cavalry activities. After the demon cavalry finished speaking, the wild hunter belonging to the Red Wild Army spoke. We are more flexible in our movements, so we plan to go to the jungle terrain and use the terrain to hunt the enemy. Finally, everyone looked at the yellow turban warrior. The yellow scarf warrior stood there without speaking. But the next second, the yellow scarf warrior left the team directly. Seeing this scene, the red flame goshawk spread its wings and soared into the sky, then disappeared from everyone's sight in a few breaths. The demon cavalry and the wild hunter glanced at each other, and then ran towards the area they were interested in. The regiment, which originally numbered only 100 men, fell apart in the blink of an eye and went their separate ways. This scene directly stunned all the princes. This motley crew has dispersed before the game even started? Several princes looked at each other, they had never seen such an army. In the army, all generals instruct their soldiers not to abandon their comrades under any circumstances. Only by uniting can they defeat a more powerful enemy. And those soldiers really did it? As long as they can unite as one, they can gather a huge military force, and they can use their military force to win even if their enemies are stronger than themselves. But here in Lu Jin, these soldiers are like spearhead soldiers, and no one obeys anyone. Unexpectedly, although Lu Jin's troops are strong, they have no unity at all. When marching and fighting, the most important quality of your legion is unity. It's better now. The 100-man regiment has directly turned into the 30-man regiment. No matter how strong the 30-man army is, the military strength it can gather is limited. Oh, military strength is such a thing. The more people there are, the stronger the military strength will be. Whether 30 people can gather military strength is a question. Speaking of this, the eyes of several princes flashed brightly. Doesn't this mean that they have a chance to win first place in this event? You must know that the biggest threat to all the princes present is the group of abnormal soldiers under Lu Jin. But now these perverted arms have been broken into pieces, with only 30 people in each team. The soldiers they sent were all aces among the elite, and there were many of them. No matter what happens, they can also use the wild corps in Wushan Mountain. The strongest corps among the wild corps has tens of thousands of people. When the time comes for the corps of 10,000 people to fight with Lu Jin's corps, wouldn't it be nice for them to reap the benefits? While he was thinking this, Lu Bian on the stage spoke. Everyone, please take a seat and enjoy this military competition. Please rest assured, once any soldiers are seriously injured, they can be sent to Qianlong town for treatment immediately. As long as you don't die on the spot, even if your limbs are severed, you can still regenerate. In a few words, all the princes were shocked again. Renewal of a broken limb. Has the level of medical skills in Qianlong town reached this level? Lu Jin didn't say anything, he didn't deny it. Because the current Qianlong town can indeed do this, even worse. As long as a person is alive and breathing, Qianlong town can save him or her. Not to mention that he has a doctor like Zhang Ji to help him. Even if Zhang Ji is helpless, he can be cured with the help of the elixir in the Four Seasons Garden. After all, the current Four Seasons Garden is full of elixirs. Among them, elixirs used to treat various difficult and complicated diseases occupy most of the Four Seasons Garden. At this moment, the image of the projection crystal changed. The first thing that caught everyone's eyes was the white soldiers under Liu Bei's command. The Beja soldiers who entered the desert area quickly encountered a barbarian infantry regiment. The barbarian infantry regiment only had a few hundred people, and its average strength was only that of an 8th grade warrior. Facing the white soldiers under Liu Bei, these barbarian infantry had no room to fight back. After some crushing, Liu Bei's Beja soldiers took the lead in winning the barbarian flag with 800 points. Seeing that his ranking instantly reached the first place, Liu Bei couldn't help but feel proud. It turns out that the barbarians are so weak. How powerful did I think they were? Under my Jingzhou Beja soldiers, there is no room for resistance. It's just that Jingzhou is far away from the barbarians and I can't worry about it. Otherwise, I can kill the barbarians and show off the prestige of my country, the Han dynasty. As soon as these words came out, the princes from all walks of life also heard the meaning of Liu Bei's words. Isn't Liu Bei's subtext saying that the barbarian is vulnerable to a single blow? Lu Jin's northern expedition to barbarians is nothing? Lu Bian naturally heard Liu Bei's subtext, but instead he looked at Lu Jin nervously. Lu Jin had a smile on his face, as if he didn't take Liu Bei's words to heart. Because in his eyes, Liu Bei is just a clown, not worthy of his attention at all. At this time, the Beja soldiers on the projection screen had just finished destroying the Manhu infantry regiment and captured the Manhu flag. The next second, another group of barbarian troops appeared in their field of vision. The white soldiers almost didn't hesitate and attacked directly towards the barbarian regiment. Got another point. Liu Bei looked at his rising points, and his inner vanity expanded even more. The white soldiers under his command are indeed strong, and it is worth spending so many resources to train them. This military competition has given Liu Bei a lot of face. At this moment, another barbarian regiment appeared in Baijabing's field of vision. This barbarian corps is different from the previous barbarian corps, with a total size of 1,000 people. But at this time, the Beja soldiers have swelled, no matter if they are a 100-man regiment or a 1,000-man regiment. They are just barbarians, and under their blades they are nothing more than a tool for making a name for themselves. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the God-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 126. Oh, these barbarian soldiers are not as strong as we thought. They are just a bunch of barbarians, what good equipment can they have? I really thought highly of them. I didn't expect Manhu to be so vulnerable. The princes from all walks of life talked to each other and wantonly belittled the barbarian soldiers. Lu Jin sat on the high platform and listened to many words. The corners of his mouth raised slightly, but he was so excited just because he had killed a few miscellaneous fish soldiers. Among barbarians' troops, there are not only these miscellaneous fish troops. Sure enough, those white soldiers met the next 1,000-man barbarian army. The white soldiers held sharp blades and almost didn't pay attention to these barbarian soldiers. They went directly towards the barbarians and killed them. One by one, the Beja soldiers took advantage of their equipment advantages and slaughtered the barbarian army directly and wantonly. They are just barbarians, nothing more than that, they are just a bunch of chickens and dogs. Kill. The white soldier fell directly with his sword. But the next second, the blade fell on a shield, unable to move forward at all. I saw a 2-meter-tall man with sharp muscles, wearing rattan armor and holding a shield, standing in front of the white soldiers. Boom! The barbarian elite on the opposite side directly struck with a shield, knocking the white soldiers several steps away. Bai Yanbing stood still and looked at the unique barbarian elite in front of him, and he couldn't help but feel horrified in his heart. What a powerful force! Completely different from the barbarian soldiers before. Similarly, the other white soldiers immediately noticed the difference in this barbarian army. They quickly gathered together. Those barbarians holding shields are far more powerful than us. It is not good for us to resist them head-on, but the number of those barbarian elites is not that large. In this case, it's better to gather the army directly and crush these barbarian elites. Many white soldiers immediately reached their wishes. For a time, hundreds of white soldiers formed a military formation. In an instant, a large amount of true energy emitted from their bodies. The true energy of hundreds of people condensed into a huge pure white shadow in the sky above the military formation. Seeing this phantom of the Dharma, all the princes could not help but touch their chins. Is this the military strength of Liu Bei's white soldiers? Just through the picture, you can feel an extremely solemn sense of oppression. Unexpectedly, in the next second, the Manhukor on the opposite side also exuded violent infuriating energy. A golden bronze Dharma-like shadow held a shield in his left hand and a knife in his right hand and attacked directly at the Beja soldiers. Boom! The two armies collided, and the violent Genkai turned into a whirlwind and rolled up sand and gravel. The princes outside the venue couldn't help but widen their eyes. What? Can Manhu's troops gather strength? The next second, the elite Manhu burst out with an astonishing aura, and the golden bronze Dharma image landed directly on the white soldier's Dharma image. Boom! All the white soldiers flew out and fell to the ground in a mess, not knowing whether they were alive or dead. Seeing this scene, everyone couldn't help but gasp. And Liu Bei stood up directly. How can it be? These white soldiers are elite aces created by themselves at the expense of huge resources. How could he be so vulnerable in front of these barbarian elites? At this time, the elite barbarians dispersed. Facing the Beiji soldiers who had suffered heavy losses, they did not take advantage of the victory and pursue it. Instead, they put away their swords and quickly disappeared from everyone's sight. After all, they are just puppets transformed by the system. The main purpose of these elite barbarians is to defeat the participating regiments. There is no intention to directly kill these regiments. However, before leaving, these barbarian elites actually took away all the flags obtained by the Beja soldiers. Liu Bei, who was in first place just now, instantly lost his points. The white soldiers under his command were also sent out and brought to the medical center in Qianlong town for treatment of their injuries. Everyone never expected that the first person to be eliminated would be the white soldiers under Liu Bei, who was in the limelight. When others saw this, they no longer dared to underestimate these barbarian regiments. Unexpectedly, there are such elite barbarian troops among these barbarian troops. If the corps they were participating in encountered this, the outcome might not be much better. At this time, everyone focused their attention on Liu Jin. At this moment, Liu Jin held his face and looked at the projection screen quietly. There was no expression on his face. At this point in the military competition, even the most ordinary corps has gained hundreds of points. But at the end of the standings, the regiment sent by Liu Jin still has 0 points. That's right, Since Lu Jin's miscellaneous army separated, they seemed to have disappeared, and there was no movement anymore. If they hadn't seen this miscellaneous corps separate with their own eyes, they would have doubted whether this corps even existed. So far, Lu Jin's ranking points are still at the bottom. Has he given up? If this continues, the first place will be given to someone else. Why do you care so much? Lu Jin's regiment has not taken action yet. Doesn't this give us an advantage? Seeing that Lu Jin's troops were so unsatisfactory, a glimmer of hope ignited in everyone's hearts. Maybe they really have a chance to win the first place? In this way, everyone held various thoughts and focused on the military competition. The time soon came to the last day. During these 3 days, the corps under everyone's hands showed their own style. Especially the Tiger and Leopard cavalry under CAO. Under the leadership of the Centurion, this Tiger and Leopard cavalry absorbed the failure experience of the Baiji soldiers very well. The Tiger and Leopard cavalry will never challenge a regiment of thousands of people. Moreover, before they attack the rebel regiment, they always observe in advance before taking action. This kind of behavior has allowed Hibaiokai's points to steadily rise to the first place. Okay, it's stable now. CAO was sitting in the spectator seats, feeling very comfortable. He even felt that his old headache was relieved a lot. The only one who made CAO feel sad was the second Euphorbia warrior. Yuan Shao's Euphorbias and CAO are almost neck and neck, chasing after each other. This made CAO look at Yuan Shao even more unkindly. Looking down the standings, the corps points representing Lu Jin are still the big number 0. The princes from all walks of life have speculated that Lu Jin's military competition was probably to give the princes from all walks of life a chance to perform. However, this also hit the inner thoughts of various princes. Although it is just a small game, if you can defeat Lu Jin in this game, this doesn't mean that Lu Jin is not invincible. Thinking of this, the princes from all walks of life began to look at Lu Jin with an unusual meaning. Lu Jin was sitting there with his eyes closed and concentrating. Suddenly, Lu Jin opened his eyes. I glanced at the corona in the middle of the venue that records time. It's noon. The time has come. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the God-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 127. Master Lu Jin's regiment still has 0 points. It seems that the champion of this military competition will have no chance with Master Lu Jin. Oh, the corps was torn apart from the beginning. How does it matter how strong such a corps is? The princes from all walks of life are becoming more and more courageous. In their view, even if Lu Jin tries to catch up now, it will be difficult to shake his position of first and second. After all, the points of Hibaiyokai and Euphorbia have now reached an astonishing number. The combined points of the top 3 were enough to stop the remaining corps. At this moment, Yuan Shao's Euphorbia soldiers actually took the risk and defeated a 1,000-man Yellow Turban regiment. Fortunately, there are not many Yellow Turban elites in this regiment. And the average level of this corps is only that of an 8th grade warrior. The Euphorbia soldiers gathered their strength and almost easily captured the Yellow Turban Corps in front of them. After obtaining the flag of the 1,000-man Yellow Turban Corps, the total flag points in the hands of the Euphorbia directly surpassed the first-place Tiger and Leopard cavalry. Seeing this scene, CAO stood up directly and looked at Yuan Shao not far away with wide eyes. Yuan Shao looked at CAO, and their eyes burst out with fierce fire in the air. In the Battle of Suzhou, CAO lost to Yuan Shao and was forced to surrender Suzhou. In order to develop his own strength, CAO had no choice but to reach out to Yanzhou. This also means that he will face Lu Jin's attack. Because of this, CAO hated Yuan Shao extremely. But Yuan Shao disagreed. At this time, with the help of UNCI, Yuan Shao's power not only did not weaken, but rose step by step and became a prince. Cao Ama, your tiger and leopard cavalry are nothing more than this. When Yuan Shao faced Cao's angry eyes that seemed to want to eat people, instead of being afraid, he directly provoked him with words. Because he knew that this was Lu Jin's place. No matter how much he provoked Cao would not dare to fight against him. This was indeed the case. Cao clenched his fists and felt a surge of energy and blood. But even so, Cao did not do anything extraordinary. He closed his eyes and refused to look at Yuan Shao's movements. And when Yuan Shao saw Cao looking like this, he felt extremely happy. It's the last day, and there are still a few hours left before the military competition is about to end. It seems that I am the champion. Just when Yuan Shao was feeling proud, Yuan Shao couldn't help but look at where Lu Jin was. But when he saw Lu Jin, the smile on his face stopped abruptly. Lu Jin is laughing. What is he laughing at? Now his points are at the bottom of the list with 0 points. Suddenly, the princes from all walks of life let out a cry of surprise. It was this exclamation that directly made Yuan Shao's heart skip a beat. I saw that on the standings, the points of a corps under a prince were cleared directly. Lu Jin's corps, which was originally ranked last, saw its points rise rapidly. The most important thing is that the points of the corps whose points were cleared are exactly the same as the points gained by the Lu Jin corps. Before anyone could react, another regiment's points were cleared. The points of Lu Jin's corps increased sharply again. Clear. 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 A large number of corps points have been cleared. The points of Lu Jin's corps seem to be on a rocket, directly reaching the 4th place. The points of the corps below him are all 0 points without exception. Now, those princes could not laugh anymore. What the hell? What's going on? At this moment, Yuan Shao, Sun Jian, and Cao suddenly felt a chill coming from behind. In the projection screen, the Euphorbia warriors who had just destroyed a yellow turban regiment were counting their trophies. We have so many flags in our hands now, and the total points should be enough to rank first. Just in case, let's kill a few more regiments. After all, the tiger and leopard cavalry are quite powerful. Yes, we must be cautious, and we must not embarrass the Lord. But if we can win first place in this competition, we will be reused by the Lord after returning to Qingzhou. The game isn't over yet, and now you're daydreaming. Ha ha ha, there are only a few hours left. If nothing unexpected happens, this won't be a daydream. As soon as he finished speaking, a small team appeared in front of Euphorbia. I saw that familiar flag, familiar body shape, and familiar appearance. All the princes present looked ugly and focused on Lu Jin. Lu Jin had a faint smile on his lips and glanced at the princes present. Many princes dare to be angry but dare not speak out. Because the familiar figure appearing in the picture is none other than Lu Jin's yellow turban warriors. 30 yellow scarf warriors appeared in front of the Euphorbia warriors. 100 Euphorbia warriors looked at the yellow scarf warrior in front of them and secretly screamed that something was wrong. It's Lu Jin's yellow turban warriors. Run away. Run away. Why are we running away? There are only 30 of them and there are 100 of us. Why are we running away? That's right, they should be the ones to escape. As soon as he finished speaking, 30 yellow scarf warriors burst out with astonishing energy. The true energy gathered in the sky above the team, and a huge giant wearing golden armor appeared in front of 100 Euphorbia warriors. What? Seeing this scene, all the princes stood up directly. What's the situation? Can 30 people unite an army? How can it be? With only 30 people, how could they support the army's huge demand for qi? When the Euphorbia warriors saw the yellow turban warriors unleashing their military strength, they also showed a fierce expression on their faces. 100 people versus 30. Are there still going to be military confrontations? Are you kidding me? Would 100 of them be afraid of a mere 30? For a moment, the Euphorbia soldiers immediately released their military strength. Boom! The next second, just as the military power gathered, the golden giant punched down. With a loud noise, all the Euphorbias vomited blood and scattered in all directions. Kill instantly with one hit. The 30 yellow scarf warriors seemed to have killed a small insect without any emotion on their faces. They stepped forward and collected all the flags that the Euphorbia had collected. Euphorbia's points were cleared instantly. And Lu Jin's ranking directly reached the first place. Immediately afterwards, the points of Sun Jian Suwei Tiger Cavalry and Cao's Tiger and Leopard Cavalry were all cleared. Before the princes from all walks of life could react, the team military competition ended. There is only one name on the entire standings. That is Lu Jin. Lu Jin stood up and looked at the many princes in the audience. His eyes looking down at all sentient beings made all princes feel a chill in their hearts. The team competition of the military competition ended successfully. Thank you for your support. As soon as these words came out, the faces of all the princes looked like they had eaten flies. In just a few hours, their moods plummeted from the sky to the abyss. At the same time, an indelible shadow was left in their hearts. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the God-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 128. As for Cao, Yuan Shao, and others, their faces were ashen. They did not expect that their elite troops would be defeated so easily by Lu Jin's troops. Whether it is the Euphorbia Knight or the Tiger and Leopard Cavalry, they are the aces among the elites under their command. But under Lu Jin, it was like paper. Even the military force of 30 people could not resist it. This made Cao and others feel a chill in their hearts. If Lu Jin wanted to unify the gods one day, what would they do to resist Lu Jin? Thinking of this, Cao and others felt even more powerless. At this time, Lu Bian stood up. Everyone, the results of the team competition have been released. And now, it's time for us to reveal the ranking rewards. Ranking rewards will be distributed according to the ranking on the leaderboard. After hearing this, everyone realized something was wrong. Distribute according to ranking on the leaderboard? The first place is Lu Jin, the second place is Cao, the third place is Sun Jian, the fourth place is Yuan Shao. At this time, the princes from all walks of life discovered it. The sooner the regiment is defeated by Lu Jin, the lower its ranking will be. On the contrary, because Cao's Tiger and Leopard Cavalry were the last regiment to be defeated, he surpassed Yuan Shao in one fell swoop and ranked second. This discovery made all the princes excited. Do they still have a chance to receive the prize? Ding! Congratulations on successfully winning the team military competition championship. Here is your reward, a golden legendary gift pack of your choice. The system directly issued Lu Jin's reward. The corners of Lu Jin's mouth rose slightly. Lu Jin didn't care about this reward. He has only one expectation for this military competition. That is to crush all the princes and leave an indelible shadow in their hearts. In this way, when he founded the country and proclaimed himself emperor, there would be much less pressure from various princes. So far, the effect is quite significant. Especially Cao, who looked dull at the moment. What? Is he second? Can he still receive the award? After a series of great joys and great sorrows, Cao felt that his mind was blank. At this time, Cao was shaken to consciousness by Sun Yu next to him. My lord! My lord! Your Majesty wants you to go up and receive the award. What? Receive the award? Cao looked at Lu Bian on the stage, and Lu Bian took out 3 tokens. Now announce the second place prize. 5 million gold coins, 1 million units of grain and grass, and 1 million units of jade. Take these 3 tokens, and then you can go to the Qianlong town warehouse to claim your prize. Millions of units of resources. After hearing the number of prizes, the eyes of the princes almost fell out of their heads. Is Qianlong town so generous? When Cao heard the number of prizes, his expression changed drastically. 500,000 gold coins, 1 million units of grain and grass, 1 million units of jade. Did you hear it correctly? Is this my second place prize? Lu Jin was sitting on the stage, watching Cao's expression changing in the audience, and thought to himself. It seems that Cao is almost crushed by himself now. All he needs to do next is to make him fall into the abyss again, and he will surely become the first breakthrough in founding his country and becoming emperor. According to the intelligence from the Black Guards, Cao had just occupied Yanzhou. Yanzhou is right next to him. Lu Jin touched his chin and smiled lightly. And Cao couldn't even believe that Sun Jian, who was third, also received a lot of resources, which was exactly half of Cao's. Yuan Shao, who was fourth, gritted his teeth. If he came to him, he would only have a quarter of his resources left. If the euphorbias under him can sustain it for a while longer, the resources of 1 million units will be his. Just like that, Lu Jin gave away millions of units of resources. The princes from all walks of life were shocked that Lu Jin had such strong financial resources. Several million units of resources placed in the territory of any prince are enough to make a qualitative change in his strength. What's more important is that among these resources, there is also the important material of grain and grass. Food and grass are the most important strategic materials in troubled times. But Lu Jin didn't care at all. Why should he care? Prizes are determined by the system. These resources are also issued by the system and have nothing to do with themselves. For themselves, they took away these resources and had no impact on Qianlong town. After receiving the supplies, Lu Bian spoke again. The team competition is over. Next, everyone is invited to move to the top of Martial God Mountain. Tomorrow morning, we will prepare to start the individual competition on the top of the mountain. Individual competition. For a time, all the princes became nervous. Doesn't the individual competition show that the strength of the generals is compared? No matter how strong their generals are, they are only as strong as first-grade warriors. But Lu Jin has a group of monsters that are beyond the first level. How to fight this? The princes from all walks of life looked at each other, but they had the prize of the team competition as a base. They thought it would be good to just go on stage and participate. The next morning came, and everyone arrived at the top of Wushan Mountain. An arena has long been established on the top of the mountain. And in the center of the ring, a general wearing a training uniform and holding a training spear stood on the ring and looked at the various princes around him. Huh? Who is this person? I've never seen him before, he looks unfamiliar. I have met this person before. He is one of Lu Jin's first lieutenants, named Zhao Yun. Lieutenant General? Why don't we see other generals, but here comes a deputy general. Lu Jin stood up at this time, looked at the various princes and said in a deep voice. I know that the strength of our generals in Qianlong town is beyond the first level. In order to prevent everyone from feeling stressed, I have specially arranged for 2 deputy generals to participate in this individual competition. Please rest assured that our deputy general in Qianlong town is only at the first level, so there is no need to worry. Only the first level? Listen, what did Lu Jin say? A first-grade warrior is treated as a guest of honor among other princes. Here in Lu Jin, he can only be a lieutenant general. And most importantly, they saw a figure. Zhang Ji. Because their soldiers were seriously injured and were sent to the medical center in Qianlong town for treatment. They all know Zhang Ji. As a doctor in Qianlong town, his methods can be described as miraculous. As Lu Jin said, as long as he doesn't die on the spot, he can be saved with one breath. Yesterday he was only in the medical center receiving injured soldiers. What's going on today? He was standing directly on the edge of the ring. Looking at him holding a white medicine box, he looked like he was ready to go on stage for rescue at any time. Who dares to do this? Lu Jin seemed to notice the nervousness of the various princes and smiled lightly. There is no need to be nervous, my medical skills in Qianlong town are obvious to all. Even if you are beheaded, as long as it does not exceed 3 minutes, our doctors can save you in time. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the God-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 129. What? Beheading? Can you still get beheaded after fighting in a ring? As soon as Lu Jin's words came out, instead of calming down the various princes, they actually made them even more nervous. Lu Bian sighed softly at this time. It is estimated that after this military competition is over, these princes will have nightmares for a few days when they return home. This arena competition adopts a defensive system. People in the audience can challenge the champion, and the winner will become a new champion to accept the challenge. Become the champion, and you will get 1 point for every win. In the end, prizes will be distributed based on who has the highest points. Prize. Hearing the word prize, the hearts of the various princes began to become active. After all, they were also present when CAO obtained millions of resources. At the end of the team's military competition yesterday, CAO personally went to the warehouse to collect resources. As a result, without exception, all resources can be withdrawn at any time, and CAO almost fainted with happiness. The other princes were jealous. Now, there is still an individual competition. If you can come out on top in the individual competition, maybe you can get a hefty reward in the end. I'm under the Qianlong Zhao Zilong, please give me some advice. Zhao Yun didn't expect that Lu Jin would let him participate in the military competition. He originally thought that Lu Jin would find Mo Lu Buletin and the others. What Lu Jin said was that if Mo Lu Buletin and the others came on stage, no one would be willing to challenge them. In this way, the effect of leaving a psychological shadow on various princes will not be achieved. Therefore, Zhao Yun not only wants to win in this competition, but also wins with cruelty and beauty. It would be best if it can leave a lifelong psychological shadow on the opponent. Zhao Yun had never heard of such a request, but after seeing Zhang Ji in the audience, Zhao Yun felt a surge of anger in his heart. At this time, the generals under the various princes looked at each other. No one wanted to be the first to go on stage. At this moment, a general under Yuan Shao stood up. I'm Yan Liang. Please enlighten me. With that said, Yan Liang jumped directly onto the ring. Zhao Yun glanced at Yan Liang and said something directly. Are you, a second-grade warrior, here to seek death? As soon as these words came out, everyone couldn't help but take a breath of air. I didn't expect that this man, who looked gentle and elegant, could be so hurtful with his words. When Yan Liang heard this, his face turned red. The veins in his hands popped out, and the anger in his eyes almost turned into substance and spewed out. I saw Yan Liang's whole body's true energy erupting, and the powerful true energy was directly injected into the sword in his hand. Although this knife is a training knife specially used for martial arts competitions, but under the infusion of the true energy of a second-grade warrior, even a branch has the ability to kill and behead enemies. Buzz. The blade emitted a cold light. Yan Liang's veins popped out in his arms and he jumped up. Facing Zhao Yun from Qianlong town, he didn't dare to slack off at all, and he used his fatal move. Cut. Yan Liang's imposing manner made all the princes around him raise their heads. They wanted to see what kind of damage this second-grade warrior could do to Zhao Yun. And then, The result was within their expectations, but it shocked the princes from all walks of life. I saw Zhao Yun raising the spear in his hand and using a trace of qi. That's right. Just a hint. If they hadn't seen the faint glow of infuriating energy on the tip of the spear, they would have thought that Zhao Yun had not used infuriating energy. But just this trace of true energy directly blocked Yan Liang's full attack. Yan Liang's eyes widened, and even the princes couldn't help but gasp. Just using a tiny wisp of Genkai, he actually blocked the attack of a second-grade warrior. Isn't this normal? After all, the opponent is a first-grade warrior. It's normal, but it's abnormal for him to use a trace of his true energy. How much control of his true energy does this require? Although I have reached the first level now, I can't control the qi in such a detailed way. The person who said this was Su Chu, Cao's subordinate. Hearing Su Chu's words, the generals in Cao's camp couldn't help but feel horrified. You know, among Cao's generals, Su Chu's strength is definitely one of the best. Moreover, Su Chu is usually very arrogant and is never willing to admit that he is weaker than others in terms of military strength. But now, Su Chu actually admitted that he was not as good as Zhao Yun. This shows that the strength shown by Zhao Yun is already the best among first-grade warriors. At this time, Liu Bei frowned and looked at Zhang Fei and Guan Yu beside him. Second brother, third brother, if you two take the field, can you defeat this person? Unexpectedly, Zhang Fei shook his head decisively when faced with this answer. Guan Yu, on the other hand, closed his eyes to rest and did not answer Liu Bei immediately. Seeing his second and third brothers looking like this, Liu Bei felt furious. Hateful. Why does Liu Jin have so many powerful soldiers and generals? He's obviously just an alien lord, but he actually steals the show. At this moment, Zhao Yun on the stage raised his spear tip, and Yan Liang was directly lifted away by a huge force. Zhao Yun directly swept away a shot. Boom! Yan Liang flew out of the ring and fell to the ground, vomiting blood. Seeing this, Zhang Ji stepped forward and directly stuffed a medicinal ingredient into Yan Liang's mouth. After Yan Liang took the herbal medicine, his symptoms of vomiting blood disappeared quickly. Zhao Yun also breathed a sigh of relief after seeing Yan Liang return to normal. Zhao Yun was not mocking Yan Liang just now, because he knew his own strength very well. He was really afraid that he would not be able to hold back his strength and beat Yan Liang to death himself. At this time, a figure appeared in the audience. Seeing this figure, Zhao Yun's heart skipped a beat. Because this person was Len Yun, who was picked up by Liu Jin some time ago, Len Yun looked at Zhao Yun and said, "Senior brother Zhao Yun, my master said that he wanted to teach them a lesson, but your lesson is too light." As soon as these words came out, Zhao Yun also felt a little guilty. Zhao Yun also knew very well that the effect he had just achieved was far from what Liu Jin wanted. At this time, Len Yun said, "Senior brother Zhao Yun can't do it, so let me do it." "Okay, okay." Seeing Zhao Yun step down and Len Yun step up, all the princes could not help but frown. What's going on? Why is there another female doll on stage? Could it be that Liu Jin was afraid that Zhao Yun was too strong, so he lowered the difficulty for them? Hateful. This is simply a naked humiliation. When Liu Jin saw Len Yun coming on stage, he couldn't help but frown slightly. Zhao Yun came to Liu Jin's side and said with some guilt, "I'm sorry, Lord. My attack was not ruthless enough and I let you down." Hearing this, Liu Jin said helplessly, "You have done a very good job, but you did one thing wrong, that is, you should not let Len Yun play." "Why?" "Junior sister Len Yun has made rapid progress. She just stepped into the realm of a first-grade warrior some time ago. Logically speaking, it shouldn't be a problem to deal with these generals. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms." Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 130. Worried about Len Yun? No. Lu Jin was worried about the generals under the princes. Lu Jin had heard a lot about Len Yun's comments from other generals. My lord, this woman is cruel and ruthless. If she grows up in the future, I'm afraid she will be a sharp double-edged sword. Lord, please forgive me for not being able to continue teaching Miss Len Yun. I'm afraid that Miss Len Yun will grow up in the future and become an uncontrollable weapon. My lord, I think that Miss Len Yun's level as a first-grade warrior is enough. If she gets stronger, I'm afraid she will be out of my lord's control. The generals who have taught Len Yun all have positive comments about Len Yun. In terms of efficiency in killing enemies, he is comparable to the elite among the Black Guards. In terms of ruthless tactics, even Kuang Ma Chao would be impressed by it. If Lu Jin hadn't been able to see Len Yun's loyalty, he might have strangled Len Yun in the cradle. Perhaps because of various previous experiences, Len Yun's character has become extremely dangerous. This trait becomes especially severe after she gains strength. Therefore, what Lu Jin is most worried about now should be the generals who will take the field next. Although Zhang Ji can borrow medicinal herbs to bring the dying person back to life. But the wasted herbs are the assets of Qian Longtown. At this moment, Len Yun picked out a pair of swords from among the training weapons, and Len Yun danced with the swords in his hands. At this time, Len Yun directly raised the blade in his hand and pointed it at the princes present. Who will die? Just 4 words, full of arrogance. The princes from all walks of life looked at Len Yun, and for some reason, there was a hint of coldness behind them. Weird. The other party is only a first-level warrior, and a female, with no reputation at all. Why am I afraid of her? When Liu Bei saw this, he couldn't help but look at his second and third brothers. This is a great opportunity. How about, third brother, you go up and try this girl's background? What? If you ask me to bully this little girl, if the news spreads, where will my face be saved? Girl, she is a genuine first-class warrior. Third brother, you can't underestimate her because of this. After some persuasion from Liu Bei, Zhang Fei finally chose to take a step forward. Seeing Zhang Fei coming out of Liu Bei's side, the other princes immediately set their sights on him. For this strange girl who suddenly appeared, all the princes were afraid and disdainful. The reason for fear is that she was born in Qian Longtown and is in the realm of a first-class warrior. The disdain is naturally because she is a woman, and the aura of a first-grade warrior is unstable. She obviously made a breakthrough nearby. Therefore, everyone naturally has various emotions towards this strange girl. After Zhang Fei stepped onto the ring, his expression was a little unhappy. He picked up a training spear and looked at Len Yun in front of him. Little girl, this arena is not a place for you to come. As soon as these words came out, Len Yun's eyes suddenly became extremely sharp. If looks could kill, Zhang Fei would have died just now. Zhang Fei's heart tightened when he saw this. He actually felt a hint of fear in his heart because of the girl's look. How can it be? The girl must be from Qian Longtown, and the name of Qian Longtown has a great influence on her. Just when Zhang Fei was thinking this, the competition officially started. When the golden gong sounds, Zhang Fei looked at Len Yun in front of him, thinking about how to attack. But at this moment, Len Yun disappeared in place. What? Such agile and fast movements suddenly caused a sense of fear in the hearts of all the princes. Where has she gone? Guan Yu, who was next to Liu Bei, opened his eyes, filled with horror. Even he could only vaguely capture the afterimage of Len Yun's movement. Is this really a first-grade realm? It's broken. Third brother. Before Guan Yu could issue a warning, Len Yun's figure appeared again, already behind Zhang Fei. At this moment, the murderous intent in Len Yun's eyes almost turned into reality. At this moment, the 2 swords in his hands suddenly appeared with a cold light. The icy chill was like polar ice, instantly covering Zhang Fei's whole body. At this moment, Zhang Fei felt his whole body stiffen. Cut! Before Zhang Fei could react, Zhang Fei felt his vision shake. And in the end, what he saw was his headless body, and Len Yun's smile that looked like Yama behind him. Behead. One hit kill. At this moment, a chill suddenly rose in the hearts of all the princes. And Liu Bei stood up directly and shouted out of control, "Third brother." Everyone started to get nervous. Zhang Fei was beheaded. It is still the cruelest separation of corpses. For other princes, this is nothing less than a great terror. Lu Jin is going to take action? What would they do if he directly attacked them all? Just when the princes looked pale and were about to collapse, Zhang Ji quickly climbed onto the ring. He stitched up Zhang Fei's body, which was still gushing blood, and then took out an ointment made from ground herbs and applied it to the body. Not long after, Zhang Fei, who was already dead, suddenly sat up. The moment he got up, Zhang Fei quickly touched his head. "Is my head still there?" At this moment, Zhang Fei's eyes fell on Len Yun, who was still holding the two swords that were still bleeding. Seeing this scene, Zhang Fei lost his composure and ran down the ring. When the princes from all walks of life saw this scene, they fell silent. Zhang Fei is alive? He had obviously been beheaded and killed, but he still came back to life? At this time, Lu Jin smiled faintly and then said, "Everyone, you can rest assured about our medical skills in Qianlong Town. Even if the corpse is separated, it can be brought back from the gate of hell. So don't worry, who will get on next?" As soon as these words came out, the whole place fell into silence. Everyone has seen that nightmarish scene, who dares to do it? No matter what, Zhang Fei is also a leader among first-grade warriors. The results of it? He was killed with one hit and even beheaded. Without the medical skills of Qianlong Town, I would have died on the spot. The generals who had been clamoring to be the masters of the ring before were now pale in appearance, and no one dared to go up and face Len Yun, the executioner. Even if he survives, he has truly died once. Not everyone can overcome the fear of death. At this moment, the whole place was silent. Lu Jin glanced at the various princes and thought to himself, "It seems that his goal has been achieved." In this case, Lu Jin looked at the various princes with a smile in his eyes. "If you feel unwell, you can choose to abstain. But if you give up, the prize will be gone. Abstain. Can you still abstain?" For a moment, all the generals looked at their lord. They don't want to go up and kill someone. At this time, Cao looked pale, and there were beads of sweat as big as beans on his forehead. I abstain."